My name is Rishabh Malviya, working as Assistant Professor in Department of Pharmacy, School of Medical and Allied Sciences, Galgotias University. Today, we will discuss about pharmaceutical suspension. In the present slide, we will discuss basic properties of suspension dosage form. A pharmaceutical suspension is a dispersed system in which internal phase is dispersed uniformly as finely divided insoluble particles throughout the external phase. The internal phase consists of particulate matter that is essentially insoluble but dispersed uniformly throughout the continuous phase with the addition of single or combination of suspending agent. The external phase, that is suspending medium, is generally aqueous in nature, but it may be organic or highly liquid and specifically used for non-oral use. Now we will discuss in detail about the pharmaceutical suspension. Suspension is a biphasic liquid dosage form. Basically, suspension is a biphasic liquid dosage form. Then question is, what is biphasic? In liquid dosage form, there are two types of system. One is monophasic system and second is biphasic system. In monophasic system, the solute particles means drug particles are soluble in liquid medium. It means when they solubilize in the solvent system, they form uniform one phase, that is liquid phase. And second types, when solute particles are insoluble in liquid medium, then these particles are suspended into the continuous liquid phase in finely divided state, and there will be two phases. One is solid particle phase and other is liquid continuous phase. This type of system is known as biphasic system. So basic difference between monophasic and biphasic liquid dosage form is number of phases. If solid particles are soluble, then it is monophasic liquid dosage form, and when solute particles are insoluble in solvent system, it is known as biphasic liquid dosage form. Means suspension is a biphasic liquid dosage form. It shows that in suspension solid particles are insoluble and present in continuous liquid phase. In an ideal suspension, these solid particles, these dispersed phase particles, these drug particles should be uniformly distributed within the continuous phase. As these particles are insoluble in solvent system, so a medium is suspension or a system is required to suspend these particles in the continuous phase. And this type of system is known as suspending agent. A material known as suspending agent, a system known as suspending agent is required to suspend these particles into the continuous phase. Then question is, what is the role of suspending agent? Suspending agent increase the interaction between these suspended particles and liquid medium. It may increase the viscosity of continuous phase to reduce the chance of sedimentation. It may decrease the contact angle between the solid phase and liquid medium. Laser contact angle means better interaction between the solid phase and liquid medium. In most of the cases, the external phase is aqueous in nature. In most of the cases, continuous phase is aqueous in nature, and when it is aqueous in nature, it can be orally administered. But in some cases, it may be oily or organic in nature, and in that case, the administration route should be non-oral. It means it can be given topically over skin. When suspension is required to be administered orally, then it is must to use aqueous phase as continuous phase, and when it is required to administered topically over skin, it may be aqueous or non-aqueous. In the present slide, we will discuss various advantages of suspension dosage form. Suspension can improve chemical stability of certain drug, for example, procaine penicillin G. Procaine penicillin G is an antibiotic and it is stable in the form of suspension. Drug in suspension exhibit higher rate of bioavailability than other dosage form. If drug is suspended in liquid dosage form in a particular solvent, it shows better bioavailability than solid dosage form. Bioavailability is found in the following order. Solution shows better bioavailability and therapeutic effect as compared to suspension, followed by capsule, compressed tablet and coated tablet. The duration and onset of action can be easily controlled in case of suspension. For example, protamine zinc insulin shows better control over drug release than liquid dosage form. Suspension can mask the unpleasant taste or bitter taste of drug. For example, chloramphenicol palmitate is easily masked by taste using suspension dosage form. In this slide, we will discuss about various disadvantages of suspension dosage form. Suspension is physically unstable, sedimentation is high, and compaction can cause problems. It is bulky, therefore sufficient care must be taken during the handling and transport of suspension. It is difficult to formulate a suspension dosage form. It required a skilled person for the formulation of suspension dosage form. Uniform and accurate dose cannot be achieved unless suspension are packed in unit dosage form. Stability is the major concern for a suspension. Suspensions are less stable as compared to the monophasic liquid dosage form such as solution. Sedimentation of particle. The particles are suspended in aqueous medium or non-aqueous medium and they are easily sedimented at the bottom of the formulation. So sedimentation is a basic problem found in the pharmaceutical suspension dosage form. It is very bulky as compared to the solid dosage form. It is easy to transport a solid dosage form like tablet and capsule as compared to the suspension dosage form. And formulation of suspension is a very difficult process and required skilled person and specific machinery. Uniform dosing is very difficult, especially in case of suspension with multi-dosing. If multi-dose suspension is available, then it becomes very hard to calculate the dosing at the time of administration. Suspension can be classified on the basis of general classes, on the basis of solid particle content. On the basis of general classes, it may be oral suspension that is administered via oral route. Second is externally applied suspension which are applied over skin, and third is parenteral suspension which are directly administered into the blood circulation. On the basis of solid content, solution may be dilute suspension which contain 2 to 10% weight by volume solid, and concentrated suspension contain about 50% weight by volume solid. Based on the electrokinetic nature of solid particles, suspension may be flocculated suspension and deflocculated suspension. And on the basis of size of solid particles present in a suspension, it may be colloidal suspension, coarse suspension, and nano suspension. The size of particles in colloidal suspension should be less than 1 micron, and in coarse suspension it should be more than 1 micron, while in nano suspension the size of particles should be about 10 nanometer. On the basis of physical state, suspension may be a suspension, a aerosol, and a foam. On the basis of behavior of dispersed phase particles present in a suspension, it may be flocculated suspension and deflocculated suspension. In flocculated suspension, dispersed phase may be a network of particles, while in deflocculated suspension, dispersed phase may consist of discrete particles, individual particles. Now we will discuss about flocculated suspension. Most of the pharmaceutical suspension are flocculated in nature. In flocculated suspension, formed flocks will cause increase in sedimentation rate due to increase in the size of sedimenting particles. Hence, flocculated suspension sediment more rapidly, and the sedimentation depend upon the size as well as porosity of flocks. Now we will discuss each point one by one. In flocculated suspension, basically a flocks are formed, means these are suspended particles present in continuous phase. They attach to each other by forming a network-like structure, and this structure is known as flock. In flocculated suspension, flocks are formed, and due to the connection of each particle with network-like structure, rate of sedimentation of particles increases, means they are easily sediment as compared to the deflocculated suspension. Rate of sedimentation is high, it means it require major stress, longer stress force to release these particles into the liquid medium in the continuous phase. Rate of sedimentation of these flocks also depend upon the size of particles and number of particles present in continuous phase. It means it depends upon size as well as concentration of particles present in continuous phase. Now we will discuss about deflocculated suspension. In deflocculated suspension, individual particles are settling, means the particles are individually present, they doesn't form any network like structure. Rate of sedimentation is slow, which prevent entrapping of liquid medium, which makes it difficult to redisperse by agitation. This phenomena is called caking or claying. In deflocculated suspension, larger particles settle fast and smaller particle remains in the liquid medium, so supernatant appears cloud. The basic difference between deflocculated suspension and flocculated suspension is formation of network-like structure. If particles present in continuous phase interact with each other and form a network-like structure, it is known as flocculated suspension. If particles present as intact individual particle, then it is known as deflocculated suspension. In flocculated suspension, rate of sedimentation is high because each particles are connected with each other and create a high gravitational weight, high gravitational force. That's why they are easily sediment as compared to the individual particles present in deflocculated suspension. Rate of sedimentation is high in case of flocculated suspension. Rate of sedimentation is low in case of deflocculated suspension. Second major difference between flocculated and deflocculated suspension is in flocculated suspension the interaction of particles after sedimentation is less as compared to the deflocculated suspended particles. Due to the network-like structure in flocculated suspension, the particles closely cannot interact with each other. But in deflocculated suspension, there is no network-like structure between the particles, so they can easily closely interact with each other after sedimentation. And due to the better interaction between the particles in deflocculated suspension, they form hard cake, and these hard cakes are not easy to redisperse at the time of administration after the shaking. Clear? It means flocculated suspensions shows better therapeutic profile as compared to the deflocculated suspension. Caking or claying is the major stability concern in case of deflocculated suspension. If there are two types of particles present in deflocculated suspension, larger particle and smaller particle, then the rate of sedimentation of larger particle will be higher as compared to the smaller particles. Now, from the complete study about the suspension, it can be summarized that pharmaceutical suspension is a biphasic liquid dosage form. Pharmaceutical suspension is useful for children as well as elderly patients, and stability of suspension is a major concern specifically in the formation of cake. Flocculated suspension is preferred over deflocculated suspension. The following are the basic question arises after the study, and first one is define pharmaceutical suspension, differentiate between flocculated and deflocculated suspension, enlist various advantages and disadvantages of pharmaceutical suspension, and categorize various types of suspension. Following are the references which can be referred for further study. And thank you very much for your kind attention. For any query, you can contact in the given email ID and contact number. Thank you very much.